Men always uncontrollably time travel, appearing out of thin air at any time and in any place. Regarding this passive ability, clothing becomes the most troublesome problem, which is why the first thing Henry does after every jump is search everywhere for something to cover himself. Since this always happens, it's common for him to be arrested by the police as a thief, but Henry isn't the least bit flustered by this. Such a passive ability fills Henry's life with uncertainty, so to avoid being seen as a freak by others, he has no choice but to choose a job as a librarian. After all, disappearing within such a vast library wouldn't be noticed. Henry often drifts alone through the rifts of time, and he has long become accustomed to loneliness. But the brushstrokes of fate made Henry meet a strange girl on this day. Although Henry and the girl were complete strangers, she directly called out his name, growing increasingly excited, as if meeting an old friend she'd known for ages. Henry, however, was completely bewildered by the girl's actions. Seeing this, Claire explained that she had often met the future Henry when she was little, and she named the restaurant he frequented and his most cherished music. Future Henry had told Claire to treat their relationship with a calm heart, but how could she possibly hide the overwhelming joy of finally meeting him again? Even though Henry hadn't sorted out his thoughts, thinking of his own uncontrollable time travel ability, he still calmly believed Claire's words. Before parting ways, they agreed to have dinner together, and looking into the sparkle in her eyes, Henry felt a ripple stir in the still waters of his heart. When night fell, they met at the restaurant as promised. Claire then pulled out a thick diary, recording every detail of her encounters with Henry. In that carefree childhood, 6-year-old Claire often went to play deep in her family's garden in the afternoon. But unlike before, someone seemed to be hiding in the usually peaceful tall grass this time, so she threw her newly bought little leather shoe.
And why can't you come out?
Can you just hand me the blanket?
Maybe I should call my mom.
No. Don't call your mom, please. Just hand me the blanket, and I'll leave. I'm a time traveler.
There's no such thing as time travelers.
However, compared to the affection and deep tenderness in Henry's eyes, Claire's face was full of strangeness and doubt.
Am I pretty?
Yes. Well, if you hang around long enough, you'll see me disappear.
But you just got here.
Despite this being their first meeting, Claire felt an inexplicable surge of attachment. But before she could recover her senses, Henry had already vanished into the golden twilight. The warm sunlight fell on Claire's young face, and she had no idea then that this man, decades her senior, would make her willing to dedicate a lifetime of waiting. As their meetings increased, they gradually grew familiar. Claire would always prepare clothes for Henry in advance, and when he appeared, she would thoughtfully hand him a delicious chicken drumstick. Claire would tell him about her recent joys and troubles, and Henry never treated her like a child, always listening patiently without complaint, offering gentle comfort and guidance.
Are you married?
Yes, I am.
Do you love her?
Yes. Very much.
Hearing this part, Claire suddenly grew sad, never imagining the prince in her heart was already married. Yet she didn't notice that the corners of Henry's mouth had involuntarily lifted into a slight smile at this moment. This companionship lasted for 12 whole years, until the day Claire turned 18. That day, Henry arrived with a sorrowful expression, spoke some cryptic words, and unexpectedly stole Claire's first kiss. After that, Henry never appeared again. Saying this, Claire slowly moved closer to Henry, gently caressing his face. This moment of reunion, a depth of feeling she had called out for countless times in her dreams, was now so real, it made her heart tremble.
It's just that you're my best friend. I've been in love with you all my life.
Perhaps from the moment they met, all their encounters were already destined. Their feelings also quietly took root, bit by bit, and before long, their two hearts pressed tightly together, becoming the most familiar landscape in each other's hearts. But Henry's ability to disappear at any moment still prevented Claire from truly relaxing and immersing herself in this fleeting tenderness. She was curious about what the experience of time travel was truly like. Henry didn't hide it either, softly recounting the long-suppressed secrets and fragments sealed deep within time, which finally flowed out from his heart at this moment. Each time he travels, it feels like standing up too fast causes numbness in his limbs, But in an instant, they are no longer in their original place. Sometimes it feels like a gentle breeze blowing by, thoughts being pulled into nothingness. By the time he came to his senses, he would already be naked, standing in some far corner of the city. Everything around him plays out scene by scene, while he, like an outsider, steps alone to the lonely rhythm, waiting for the next jump to come. Even if he occasionally sees relatives who have passed away, the predetermined chapters of fate allow him no room to change them. Henry had already possessed the ability to time travel as early as when he was 6 years old. It was a snowy Christmas with slippery roads making vehicles hard to control, leading to a severe chain collision. But at that very moment, Henry's fingers began to slowly disappear, and he could only watch helplessly as the oncoming vehicle crashed towards his mother, while he himself was transported to a night several days prior. His mother was right beside him at that moment, gently telling him a bedtime fairy tale. Little Henry didn't understand what was happening. He hurriedly covered his eyes. Yet the next second, he was back at the accident scene. A truck sped past behind him, and amidst the chaos, his mother passed away. Little Henry was terrified by the scene before him. But just then, an older Henry rushed over. He had traveled back multiple times, yet was never able to prevent the tragedy, only able to desperately comfort his younger self that everything would be all right. Yet when Henry recounted all this, his eyes held a touch of calmness and acceptance, having long made peace with fate over the years. And Claire's arrival was like the first ray of spring sunshine after winter, bringing color back into his world. Afterwards, Claire introduced Henry to her brother Gomez and her friend Charisse. Charisse was very happy about Henry's arrival, but Gomez was very displeased by Henry's sudden appearance. Because Claire had never had a boyfriend before, yet fell in love with Henry in less than 2.5 minutes. And besides knowing Henry was a librarian, he knew nothing else about him. He feared his sister was being deceived emotionally. Charisse, however, was unconcerned about this. After dinner, Henry intended to say goodbye to everyone, but happened to be drawn to Claire's diary in the bedroom. After some thought, he slowly entered the room and began flipping through the secrets hidden within the river of time. It was Claire's private sanctuary, densely filled with her daily moods and the moments of her unexpected encounters with the older Henry. Yet, just as he was immersed in it, Claire quietly appeared behind him. She was very puzzled by Henry's act of reading her diary. It was the softest corner of her heart, the secret box holding past joys and sorrows.
If I'm that important to her, I wanted to be able to tell her when I was coming to see her so she wouldn't have to wait. Christ, I'm sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. I should go.
I'd like you to stay.
Meanwhile, Gomez was walking down the street when he spotted a group of people fighting around the corner. Getting closer, he discovered it was Henry. Seeing this, Gomez quickly stepped in to stop it and asked Henry what had happened. It turned out Henry had been harassed by a man because he was wearing women's clothes, but he didn't explain much to Gomez and simply asked him what year and month it was. Gomez was completely baffled by Henry's confusing words. Henry had no choice but to pick the lock of a nearby shop to find suitable clothes, but Gomez still pursued him relentlessly, demanding an explanation for everything. Since in the future, Henry and Gomez would become the best of friends, he decided not to hold back and told Gomez about his identity as a time traveler. Gomez found it all utterly absurd, yet he couldn't help but curiously ask Henry what his own future would be like.
I'm gonna tell you things about your life. Knowing stuff in advance makes you crazy.
You're full of shit, you know that?
You won't think that in a minute.
Gomez could never have imagined that Henry truly vanished into thin air right before his eyes. So at the first light of dawn the next day, he immediately went to Claire's house, advising his sister not to marry that strange man with time travel abilities. But Claire wasn't the least bit surprised. Instead, she was already accustomed to it all and had woven her love for Henry into every corner of time.
I've been waiting for him my entire life.
Seeing his sister so resolute, Gomez didn't feel he could say much more and had to let Claire follow her heart's desire. Meanwhile, Henry was still traversing time. Avoiding police pursuit, he arrived at a subway station platform. Henry calmly walked onto the train, but the sight before him made his heart skip a beat. Sitting beside him was the mother he had longed for, day and night.
You have a great voice.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
My name's Henry.
How funny. I have a son named Henry, but he's just 3.
Even though Henry tried hard to restrain his inner urge, yet that longing still brought redness to the corners of his eyes, and Henry's barely concealed sorrow seemed noticed by his mother.
I'm really really glad I met you.
Make sure that girl knows how you feel about her.
Your son loves you very much.
I know.
His mother's words strengthened Henry's resolve even more. He watched his mother slowly leave. Though he wanted to rush forward and express the unsaid love and concern, Henry clearly understood this reunion was fleeting and powerless to alter fate. The next day, Henry went to his father's house. As a musician, he had never fully recovered after his wife's death, and that dedication to the stage had gradually faded with time. Henry was deeply concerned about this, but his father always blamed him for having this ability, believing Henry should go back and save his mother. What he didn't know was that Henry also wished his ability could change fate, but it was ultimately futile. Henry wanted to propose to Clare with the ring from his parents' engagement. He believed his mother would have liked Clare, and if she were still here, she would surely have agreed to this. His father offered no response to this. Seeing this, Henry didn't want to force the issue. He put on his clothes and prepared to leave. But his father still walked over slowly, holding the ring. Henry held the ring in his hand. It was a testament to his parents' love and his anchor in his travels through time. He looked at Clare sleeping soundly, but his heart lacked its usual calm. He feared his ability couldn't bring Clare happiness and worried he might disappear during a time travel, never to return. But thinking of his mother's certain look, Henry still resolved to slip the ring onto Clare's finger. Clare was awakened by the moment and looked down at the ring on her hand, feeling ripples stirring deep inside her heart. Only then did she realize, as if waking from a dream,
Will you marry me?
No, I didn't mean that. I just wanted to try it. I just wanted to say it to assert my own sense of free will.
that the wife Henry had spoken of in her childhood was herself. Soon it was their wedding day, and everyone was preparing for it. Clare had a father who loved hunting. He very much hoped to go hunting with Henry in the future. And Henry's father also set aside his mental reservations, attending this wedding. As the guests took their seats, Clare was already ready with her makeup. But at that moment, Henry time-traveled again, leaving behind nothing but a pile of clothes on the bathroom floor. Although Gomez was used to such things, a wedding without a groom present simply wouldn't do. Faced with the bridesmaids urging outside the door, Gomez momentarily panicked. Fortunately, Henry returned just in time, though he was now visibly aged. Regardless, Henry got ready and arrived at the wedding venue on time. As music filled the guests' ears, Clare walked arm in arm with her father, step by step towards the love she pursued. The wedding was held in the backyard garden where the dream began. It held not only her childhood, but also the warm moments Henry had spent with her. When the older Henry turned around, Clare's heart couldn't help but tremble slightly. But she quickly let it go. Under the priest's witness, they exchanged their wedding vows. As night fell like thick ink spreading through the sky, the wedding continued on. Clare's father then invited the newlyweds to the center of the dance floor. But there was no one beside Clare. The next moment, however, Henry appeared on stage in formal attire. Clare hesitated for a moment, but when she looked into Henry's intense eyes, she couldn't help but walk slowly towards him. Romantic notes floated into the night sky. Their steps were light, writing the chapters of their shared life. Though tomorrow remained uncertain, and even if Henry was often late, the unique understanding in their hearts would always bring them together again. But the challenges of their life together far exceeded their expectations. The uncontrollable travel ability always made Henry suddenly disappear. Even on their wedding night, Clare was left alone. Before long, they moved to a new home in the city. Clare was also not spared from loneliness. She often ate alone, cleaned the house alone, and spent Christmas alone. The clothes she carefully picked out couldn't get a timely response from her beloved. She thought such difficulties wouldn't hinder their love, but her patience gradually crumbled during the long waits. This time, Henry was gone for 2 weeks straight. He missed their wedding anniversary, and she had no way of knowing if he was safe. A fierce argument ensued, and in the end, Clare slammed the door and left. Though filled with heartache, Henry had no way to express it. But Clare still loved Henry deeply. So when she saw Henry sitting alone on a bench waiting, she walked up to him without hesitation and forgave him. Henry also deeply understood that his wife had endured too much for him, so on this day, he used his ability to win the lottery's first prize at a ticket shop.
You can't do that.
Strip it up.
No.
There are a lot of downsides to my condition. Okay, but this This is not one of them.
Afterwards, they began looking for a suitable place to live. Even though every detail of the current room was beyond reproach, after Henry glanced out the window, he still decided to look at the next place. After multiple rounds of searching, they finally moved into their own dream estate. The interior was arranged as before. The grass outside remained green. Everything was as Henry remembered it, filled with a long-awaited warmth and sense of belonging. But just as everyone was celebrating the housewarming, they unexpectedly heard strange noises outside. They rushed out in a panic and found Henry lying on the ground, barely alive. At this moment, Claire gradually realized she had seemingly never encountered a Henry older than 40. But Claire kept comforting Henry, believing that at some point in the future, he would stop time traveling. Even so, Henry fell into a pit of fear, and Claire then revealed that she was pregnant. This sudden news briefly made Henry forget his earlier struggle. At this moment, Claire remembered the doctor, Kendrick, that the older Henry had mentioned to her. Kendrick was a famous local genetics expert who had effectively managed Henry's travel ability in the future. But when Henry told Kendrick he had found him using his travel ability, Kendrick simply thought Henry had mental problems, finding it utterly ridiculous. Seeing this, Henry could only leave angrily. Fate, however, didn't slow down. On this day while eating, Claire suddenly felt intense abdominal pain. When she woke up in the hospital, she was told they had lost the baby. Henry guessed the child might have inherited his travel ability, so he sought out Kendrick again. Henry laid out all his suspicions, but Kendrick still refused to believe any of it. However, after Henry's repeated pleas, Kendrick decided to run a test on Henry. He thought this would make the madman face reality, but Henry vanished into thin air inside the sealed laboratory. Only then did Kendrick have to believe Henry's story about time travel. After a period of research, Kendrick discovered that Henry's symptoms before each travel resembled epileptic seizures, so they could use epilepsy medication to suppress the travels. Meanwhile, Claire was already 10 weeks pregnant again, and she also needed to follow this advice to protect their second child. But life is always unpredictable. Claire miscarried again one night not long after. For his wife's health, Henry suggested they could adopt a child, but Claire insisted on having a child of their own, which led to a disagreement between them. They didn't notice, however, a little girl smiling as she watched them from behind. Fearing his wife's body couldn't withstand a third accident, Henry secretly went to the hospital alone for a vasectomy. But as he was leaving, he suddenly time traveled again. This time, he arrived when Claire was 18. Seeing Henry's complicated expression, young Claire kept asking what had happened. But Henry didn't reveal a word, only apologizing repeatedly. After returning home, Henry told Claire the truth about his surgery. Henry said nothing more.
Wait, you think that I wanted this life? This husband that disappears without any kind of warning? Do you think anyone would want that? Who would want that?
Silently turning to leave, leaving Claire alone with her tears. But one night, Claire unexpectedly received a phone call from Henry. She then drove to a parking lot. Here, she met a younger Henry. Under the moonlight, they embraced tightly, reliving the sweetness of their love. A month later, Henry was surprised to see how radiant Claire looked lately.
I'm pregnant. Do you remember the night in the parking lot when I came to get you? Before the surgery?
Seeing things had come to this, Henry had no choice but to accept it. After all, he too wanted a child of his own. Fortunately, this time, their child made it to 18 weeks without incident. Claire even began preparing to choose a beautiful name for the child. But just then, Henry time traveled again. This time, he appeared at a zoo, and facing the strange looks from the crowd, Henry quickly left. Then, he unexpectedly encountered his own daughter.
Daddy!
In conversation, Henry learned his daughter was named Alba, not only inheriting his time travel ability, but also able to control when and where she traveled. Seeing Alba growing up healthy, Henry finally breathed a sigh of relief. But at this moment, his daughter talked about everyone in the family, except her future self. Henry also gathered the courage to ask her about this.
How old were you when I died? It's okay.
5. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have told you.
You've traveled past my own life before. How's your mom?
She's okay.
And Henry wasn't overly sad. He pulled his daughter into an embrace. This hug contained so much that Henry wanted to say to his daughter. He then, with tear-filled eyes, told Claire about meeting their daughter and named her Alba. but he concealed the truth of his impending death. Soon after, the daughter was born safely. Little Alba's arrival renewed this family with hope and love. Henry's father once again picked up his violin, playing warm melodies for his granddaughter. Surrounded by family, Alba grew up within a harbor of happiness. Soon came her 5th birthday. The future version of Alba appeared and played with her younger self. Claire saw this and quickly called Henry over, asking who was beside Alba. Only then did Henry tell Claire that their daughter had also inherited the time travel ability. But after all this ended, Alba was deeply saddened. Claire wanted to ask why, but Alba was unwilling to tell her. During the birthday celebration, Claire noticed Henry speaking sorrowfully to their daughter. She tried to ask what was happening, but Henry revealed nothing. He thought Claire would give up. But that same night while bathing Alba, she inquired about it all.
Daddy's going to die.
Don't do that.
Alba told me.
Hearing this, tears instantly filled Claire's eyes, yet she fought her emotions, not wanting to break down in front of her daughter. That day, a sudden scream came from inside the house. Claire rushed over to find Henry trembling violently on the floor. He had accidentally traveled into a truck's freezer, causing severe frostbite to his legs. Henry would spend his remaining days confined to a wheelchair. If he traveled again during this time, his immobility would bring unprecedented danger. Yet fate showed him no mercy. Even though Alba patiently taught Henry to control his travels through singing, Henry still vanished mid-song. He traveled to the end of his life, where thick snow reflected brilliant Christmas fireworks in the sky. Henry slowly walked forward, looking through a window at his own body lying on the floor and his grief-stricken family. After returning, he became more at peace. He taught his daughter how to survive after traveling, and helped the family prepare delicious Christmas meals. Each sweet, tender moment helped them forget the impending farewell. Henry simply watched quietly, waiting for that moment to arrive. Unlike before, he invited all friends and family this Christmas, not wanting Claire to face death alone. He then called Gomez outside. Henry thanked Gomez for his unwavering support over the years and revealed the misfortune awaiting him tonight. They intended to keep it hidden, but Claire, stepping outside, sensed something wrong in their complex, evasive eyes.
No.
Come here. Come on.
Neither spoke much, simply gazing at each other in silence as if conveying 1,000 words without sound. Soon after, Henry traveled to that familiar backyard garden. A deer appeared before him. Then came the sound of a gunshot. The hunter hurried to inspect his prey, finding only a crimson stain on the ground. The hunter was none other than Claire's father, the hunting enthusiast. Henry collapsed upon returning. Though in agony, he used his last ounce of strength to speak his love. Surrounded by family, Henry slowly passed away. Outside the window, his warm handprints still remained. In the days that followed, mother and daughter comforted each other. Though Henry was gone, that love and tenderness had taken deep root in their hearts. Time passed, and Alba now played in that backyard garden with Gomez's children. Just then, a familiar figure quietly appeared before her.
Run back to the house, you guys. Tell Mommy's here. Tell her to come. Let's go. Wait.
Your mom, who's just a tiny little thing, goes out to the clearing, and there's a man there.
With no clothes.
Not a stitch on him. And after she gives him a blanket she happens to be carrying, he explains to her that he's a time traveler. Now, for some reason I'll never understand, she believes him.
'Cause it's true.
I'm going.
No, Daddy, sing.
I can't sing.
In this moment, all the waiting and parting transformed into a blazing dawn light, illuminating their long-awaited reunion. Their love knew no ordinary daily companionship, only brief reunions inadvertently cast by fate. Henry was destined never to stay, and Claire was destined to wait. But their love had crossed the boundaries of time and broken through the limits of fate, blooming endlessly in each other's hearts. Some say time is a merciless torrent washing all away, but for Claire, it was a series of hopeful love letters, destined to bring her beloved back in an unexpected moment. Even if only for an instant, it outweighed a lifetime of regret. The film teaches us that true love isn't about lasting possession, but steadfastly choosing to guard each other, even when loss is destined. Even though Henry couldn't always be by her side, Clare willingly held up an entire lifetime of waiting for this love. So even if life is paved with regret, may we all meet someone who will love us just as fiercely, traversing mountains and rivers. For some loves, even a fleeting encounter settles deep in the soul, becoming eternal.